Namaste, Pranam, Gita Dhyanam. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvā manusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavatveshini. Oh, Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Arjuna. The ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O goddess, showerer of the nectar-like knowledge of non-dualism contained in your 18 chapters. O my affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. And now, Krishna Vandana. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devakim Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. O son of Vasudeva, the slayer of Kansa and Chanu, extreme delight for Mother Devaki, O Lord Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. So today we are taking up the 28th shloka of the Karma Yoga, the third adhyaya of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. In the previous shloka that we read, 27th shloka, Krishna told us about that, how deluded by these three gunas of the Prakriti, a person comes under the influence of egotism and starts thinking, I am doing this, I am the doer. At aham manyate, he starts believing that I am the doer. He is not the doer, in fact. It is the three gunas in the Prakriti which are getting all the things done. Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, they are getting all the things done, but like a fool, like an ignorant person starts believing manyate that aham karta, I am the doer. And now Sri Krishna says that yes, even this stage can go. This stage of coming under the influence of this egotistic tendency and thinking I am the doer, this stage will also go. When? Sri Krishna is telling in this 28th shloka. Tattva-vit mahā-bāho guṇa-karma-vibhāgayoḥ guṇeṣhu vartanta iti matvā na sajjate. Now, the stage will come when a person starts looking, inquiring into it. Who is the real doer? Who is the real performer of this action? When a person starts, getting into this self-analyzing, who is the real doer? Like Sri Ramakrishna in our previous verse, we had seen his example that when we are peeling the onion layer after other, like that, when a person starts analyzing, looking for who is the real doer, and then he gets an insight. While doing that analysis, a person gets an insight, tattva-vit, the knower of the truth. But mahā-bāho, tattva-vit, mahā-bāho, O Arjuna, O mighty armed. Sri Krishna is now referring to Arjuna as mighty armed because he is not a weakling, he is not an ignorant one, he is a mighty person, he is a mighty warrior. And now Sri Krishna is making Arjuna realize what are his strengths, what is his real self. So Sri Krishna is addressing Arjuna as mahā-bāho, the mighty armed. You are not a weakling, you are not an ignorant man, you are not a person with the egotistic tendency. You are the knower, you are the mighty armed. And therefore Sri Krishna says, O mighty armed, tattva-vit, knower of the truth, knower of the reality, guṇa-karma-vibhāgayoḥ. He knows, the knower of the reality, the knower of truth, he knows that divisions, guṇa-karma-vibhāgayoḥ is division. The divisions of qualities and functions, divisions of gunas, divisions of the sattva, rajas, tamas. These divisions of the gunas, gunaha, are in fact the gunaha, the qualities which are function of the senses. These sattva, rajas, guna, tamas guna, these are projected through the senses. These are the functions of the senses. My hearing, my seeing, my touching, all these things. These functions of the senses are these three gunas. And also not only that gunaha, but also the guṇeṣhu. Tattva-vittu mahā-bāho guṇa-karma-vibhāgayoḥ. This the guna, guṇeṣhu vartanta. This division of these properties, qualities of the prakriti. What are they? They are divided into two. One is senses. These are also controlled by the gunas. These are also projections of these three gunas. And guṇeṣhu, sense objects. So it is like a beautiful something that we see. What is happening? The eyes are seeing it. That beauty is captured by the eyes. Now, the beauty in that object is also a nature of three gunas, as much it is the function of our eyesight, of the senses. So whatever is there in the senses and the sense objects, we try to get those sense objects from the sense of pleasure, from the sense of enjoyment and all that thing. What the senses are also projection of the three gunas. The sense objects are also projections of the three gunas. And one who knows this, he knows the ultimate truth. That it is the three gunas in the form of my senses, in the three gunas in the form of my seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, tasting, all these senses. They are also nothing but three gunas. And the respective sense objects are also true and true filled with the three gunas. So it is the three gunas which are creating this problem. Therefore, O mighty armed, the one intuitive into the nature of gunas and karma, knows, realizes that gunas as senses merely abide gunas as objects and does not become entangled. The moment this realization dawns in his mind that whatever I am doing is nothing but an aspect of the three gunas. Same three gunas are in my senses, the three gunas are in my objects. When we are doing any work, what is basically happening? We are using our senses to get any work completed. And what we mean by doing a work? It is, we are just bringing together the senses with the sense objects and creating an action. Supposing I have to write a letter. What happens? I will pick up a pen I will hold the pen. My action of holding the pen, the sense of my locomotive body part is doing that action. And then I start writing something. What is happening? Knower of the truth finally realizes it is because of the qualities of sattva, rajas, tamas in my body that I am able to hold something, I am able to write something, and what I am writing, that is also controlled by the three gunas. The words that are, I am putting them down on paper, that is also an aspect of sattva, rajas, tamas. So if I am writing something good, it is the quality of sattva which is coming out of that writing. If I am writing something vulgar, it is the quality of tamas that is coming out of that writing. So everything, in fact, even my handwriting, even my mind creating those thoughts, everything is controlled by the triguna, sattva, rajas, tamas. And this is what, in fact, Sri Ramakrishna has also told about how these three gunas, they have their importance in Prakriti. The Rajas is associated with creation. Sattva is associated with preservation, and Tamas is associated with destruction. This creation, preservation, destruction is the natural cycle of this Prakriti. This is what we see every time. In everything we see this. Everything is created. Everything is preserved. It grows and then destroys. So since this entire creation is controlled by the three gunas, all the actions that we do are also controlled by the three gunas. They are mere projections of the three gunas. So Sri Krishna says, when a true knower perceives that anything that is being done is nothing but the projection of gunas in the senses which get bound with the sense objects. And once one gets that realization that it is all the play of three gunas, it is all the magic of these three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas, then one starts getting this realization, and then one doesn't become entangled in that karma, one doesn't get attached to that karma. Then it is karma in a detached way. It is like an enlightened person doing any work, not attached, not thinking about what is going to be the outcome, what is going to be the fruit, whether I am going to be benefited, whether I am going to lose anything after doing this. That is not the thing. God has asked me to do this. I am doing it to the best of my ability. Whatever is going to be the outcome, let the Lord decide. Why should I worry about it? That attitude comes when, as Sri Krishna has told in this 28th chapter Shloka, that when one gets this realization, when that whatever these three sense objects governed by the three gunas are getting it done through the senses, getting it done by merging, by abiding, by associating with the sense objects, then that I-ness goes. Then I'm not there. Then the three gunas, they are the doers, and what they are doing is actually not real. It is all maya, it is all delusion, and we feel we are doing it. But an enlightened person will never think it that way. So that is what Sri Krishna is unfolding, the secret behind doing work without attachment. But understand, everything is a projection of these three gunas. And then we will realize I am not the doer. This body being a part of Prakriti, this body having come as desired by the Prakriti, is engaged in works. Fine. That is the job that three gunas are doing. It is the job that Prakriti is doing. I am not involved in it. When one gets this realization, then one starts performing work without attachment and without getting kind of entangled in that work. There is no entanglement for it. So there is a kinship between senses and their respective objects. They are both constituted of the same elements and of the same gunas. The element of fire, for example, has its own combination of gunas. Now, here Swami Chidbhavananda is giving an example of we see fire. The fire is also constituted of three gunas. Emitting light is characteristic of fire. The combination of gunas in fire takes one form as the sense of sight and another form as the object of sight. That is inherent in everything. Because of the sameness of nature in both of them, sense experience becomes possible. We are able to see that light in fire because that quality is present both in our eyes as well as in the fire. That quality is there. Therefore, we are able to tune up with that. Since the senses are able to tune up with the sense objects, perception is possible. Without that, perception is not possible. And this is the fact in regard to all the five senses. Atman, which is consciousness, remains unaffected by these sensations. One dweller is not affected by any of these. I see a good thing, I become happy. I see a bad thing, I become sad. I see something absolutely objectionable, I become absolutely perturbed. Now, all these reactions, they are the result of sense and sense object association. Atman is not involved in that. The real I is not involved in that. It is the false I that is getting involved. And then that false I becomes happy, becomes desperate, becomes dejected. That false I is the culprit, which is again the outcome of three senses. Atman, which is consciousness, remains unaffected by the sensation, even as Akasha is substratum to the dashing cloud. Space doesn't get affected. Space is whatever things may come in between the space, in between that space. Space remains space. The Akasha remains Akasha. The sage who realizes this truth is free from entanglement. The enlightened one who realizes this truth, he remains unentangled in doing any kind of karma. So that is the truth. That is the ultimate truth that Sri Krishna is telling, how to go above attachment to karma. And this is what Sri Krishna has told us beautifully in this 28th shloka. Let us try to understand this. Let us try to realize this truth, that whatever things we perceive as a result of association of senses with sense objects is the play of these three gunas. And it is all temporary, it is all ephemeral, it is all unreal. So, if we have to see a beautiful flower, just see a beautiful flower, and it is the sattva, rajas, tamas in the sense of sight getting merged with that beautiful form of the flower. The sattva, rajas and tamas in that flower, that beautiful sight is getting merged with our sense of sight. That is what is happening in this entire universe. That is what is happening in this entire creation and this great secret Sri Krishna has told us just in these two lines. That guṇa-guṇeṣhu vartanta. Senses and the sense object, they are governed by the three gunas, giving us all these different kind of perceptions and also deluding us to think that I am doing it. So we have to go beyond that. We have to realize this fact that it is the three gunas in the senses, it is the three gunas in the sense object which are making us perceive those things and which are making us getting these things done. Therefore, let's start working without any attachment, without getting entangled in the acts that we are doing. That is Sri Krishna's beautiful teaching in this 28th Shloka of Karma Yoga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ramakrishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Swami.